I'm Katarina.
And I'm Sam.
And we're navigating life as an inter-abled couple.
In 2016, I broke my neck, which left me paralyzed from my chest down. Katarina is my full-time caregiver, and we wanted to share our experiences, get the conversation started, and to connect with you guys.
And today we're going to give some backstory on how we met.
If you want to support us and our creative projects, check out our Patreon linked in the description below.
You can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Katarina and Sam.
I think this is a way for us to interact with you guys more and start more of a conversation and have a conversation between ourselves too.
I like that it's more long form and that you can actually get ideas across instead of just quick hitter, rapid, low attention span kind of content that's 2 seconds on a clip, 2 seconds on another clip,
You're so worried about engagement that you're so many things are slipping through the cracks.
Yeah, I mean, we need an actual conversation to talk about the things that a lot of people with disabilities or in inter-abled couples, or whether you know someone with a disability or a spinal cord injury, or it's your friend, your brother, your sister, your family member.
Or somebody you know recently has been hurt,
Yeah, it's important to have a conversation that gets into the nitty-gritty about it. One, to spread awareness for the justice piece, but also to build community and just share our experience. Because I know that when I first met Sam, I was just looking at everything that had to do with spinal cord injury, quadriplegics. I had no idea, and I didn't know anything about it. So every podcast video I can find, I was like, what can people do at a C5 level? What does life look like with a spinal cord injury at the C5 level?
How easy was that to find those?
Well, you know me, I'm like a digger.
No, but I mean, how easy was it to find and bring? Because so many times you go to Google or something like that, right? And you look up something, it's always we can have the joke of 17 degrees off. It's never exactly what it is you need. And that was so frustrating for me personally when I was in the hospital, and I would be like, what am I to expect? What is this? And everyone kept telling me that oh, well, every injury is different. So is that kind of something that you saw a lot, or?
I did, because not everyone was a C5, but there were some people who were, and I could see what they were able to do. I read a lot of the typical resources, like Christopher Reeves, Dana and Christopher Reeves.
Foundation.
Yeah, the foundation. A lot of the typical things that you see right away, but then if you dig deeper and just even social media, even hashtags, and then finding other couples that were living life well, and seeing them being happy and how they built their new normal was really helpful for me to see that it can work. It was helpful in my decision making, because when we first met, I was building out the van, and I was dating someone with a disability is a stark change in the path that I was going to take.
Yeah.
Am I ready for this? Do I want to embark in this?
I think I remember in the beginning too, I had dated for a while because I was hurt in 2016 and we met in early 2020. So by that time I had been dating for a little bit. And at that point I had realized that I'm not dating to just date. I was 22 when I got hurt. So put on another 4 years to that. I was 26 at the time when we met. So yeah, I knew I was ready to find my person. I didn't really want to just I don't know, it's just theory, let's go. I wanted to know that what we were doing was working towards something. And I tried to make that as evident as I could.
You were. God, it was so refreshing. Yeah. I would love to, in some future episode, dive deep into why we work so well. Or is that this episode we're
talking about? Kind of what we were initially going to talk about. I think we wanted to talk about how we met.
So Sam, how did we meet?
Through the graces of technology and social media, believe it or not, like everyone else in our demographic. I was hurt, like I said, in 2016. And when I was first hurt, my sister came down from New York at a job she was working at. And my parents and my sister would have like this rotation where they would stay with me because when I got hurt, I was in the hospital for 3 months. So for the first, like, I don't even know, month-ish, I had a trach. You can see here, they had to incubate. Intubate, not incubate.
Incubates for babies.
Yeah. It was really difficult. When I first got hurt, I wasn't able to talk and I wasn't able to like really communicate with the nurses and the staff in there. So it's really nice to have my family around me, and I'm super, super fortunate that I do have them. But anyways, my sister came down and she was able to read me like a book, and I would just like raise my eyebrows at her and she would know what it is that I needed. So when I did get the ability to talk, a few of my friends around that time had purchased vans, and they were like starting to do this van life, a bit more traveling, a bit more like getting out there. And I think around that time it was a pretty popular craze too. So I expressed how frustrated I was that like, oh man, with this new injury, it's going to be like, I think I was a lot more doom and gloom. I was a lot more like, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And to my sister's credit, she figured out a way to make it happen. She found out that you can buy decommissioned school buses from counties all over the country for pretty cheap, like under 10 grand, you can buy these buses. So she quit her job in New York, moved back home, became my full-time caregiver, and we started working on finding a bus. And she found one over in Tampa. We started working on that, we gutted that, and while we were doing all this, we made a social media, we made like an Instagram. And we were just kind of like putting our story out there. It was really cool. We got some good traction. We met a lot of really cool people. One of those really cool people slid into our DMs and was just like, hey, I'm also in Orlando and I'm building out a Ford Transit. We should get together and like yap about what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it. And maybe we can learn from one another and create a little community, which like, kudos to you for taking that leap and like putting yourself out there like that.
Props to me.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
You are the best.
No.
So yeah, do you want to take it from there? Like,
sure. I mean, one of my friends sent me one of their posts, Sam and Alex's posts, that was like, these people are in Orlando. Go and meet your community of people who are doing the same thing as you. And I was stoked to have people nearby that I could learn from and have fun building with, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just on YouTube University trying to figure out how to build out a van. And yeah, it was nice to be like, hey, how do you do this? But I met Alex first, and then shortly after I met Sam, and I was just stoked to have some people nearby. And then Sam says that he swooped in. I never thought that life would go this route at all. I was so ready to just be like a solo female traveler and with my dog in my van and just like work part-time as long as I had internet, digital nomad, and then just work on my art. And then I met Sam and I was like, no, fuck all of that. What about Sam? This guy's amazing. I know. I was like, fuck the van. What do people do with an SCI?
Oh my God. So yeah, it was an interesting time too, because it was early COVID. So it was like, what, March of 2020?
Yeah, it was funny. Sam lived with his folks and his sister lived there too. And they had this beautiful 5-acre property, where they used to have horses and everything. It was the best spot to have a bus and build things out. It was so cool. When we started talking, I would drive over. Sam couldn't drive his own vehicle at the time, so it was always me coming over to your mom and dad's house, and we would sit on the front porch and just gab for hours. But it was March, April, so it was super hot.
Yeah, it's like after February, it's just like somebody turns the dial up and it gets miserably hot.
It's miserable. So we would just chat, and Sam would just overheat and not go inside about it. And I didn't even know that people with spinal cord injuries or like quadriplegics can't regulate their temperature. And so Sam would just overheat, and his mom would come out with like a cup of ice water. And I didn't even understand what was going on. And you just like, you had your manual chair at the time, you'd hook one arm, you'd hook one arm, bend over, and your mom would just dump ice on your head. I was just like, oh, cool. Like, is this like normal? Like, this is like what people, you guys just do this? This like feels good for you? Like, this is chill, right? No, Sam was like overheating as fuck, and it's like dangerous.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But he just wanted to stay outside and talk to me, and it was, social distance chatting, and it wasn't safe for me to like go inside your house either.
Yeah, you were like living with your
time.
brother who was still doing showings all the time. So he was around a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like you guys, your whole family was like open to that.
Yeah.
So then it was like, okay, well, when you come over, you can't really come inside. So let's just like hang out on the front porch. We'll stay a safe distance away from one another.
And then they moved away. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so that was March. That was March, April of 2020. And then June of 2020, my folks decided to move out to New Smyrna Beach. My father works for a company in Daytona. And initially he was just commuting. But around that time, we figured, let's pack everything up and move as far away from Katarina as we can.
Well, we were close enough to where we wanted to keep dating because an hour wasn't super long. But I was also in the middle of building the van and working. So I was like working during the week, building the van out one weekend, and then working another week, and then coming out to see you. So the van build was super slow. And I tried to do the best I could, like in the evenings, but yo girl has an autoimmune disease, and I wasn't even taking medication at that time for it. So it was just tough for me to even have the energy to like do anything. But we got it done.
Yeah, we did.
2 years later.
That was one thing that was refreshing in the bus and van like build realm. Because you talk to anybody, and most everybody that we talked to was like, yeah, timelines are just kind of a suggestion. Like, it's never really truly how long it takes. We all have these plans of like, oh, well, I'm going to buy something and I'm going to have it built out in 6 months.
You see these like amazing people on YouTube who just, even some of them who work, they're an able-bodied couple, and they'll do a build in like 3 to 6 months. Yeah. And I'm like, how the fuck did you guys do that? Like, yeah. I did have very sophisticated plumbing and all of that, but still, it's
not easy.
No, it takes forever, especially if you're one person, but some people are able to do it. I'm slow at a lot of things. I just am a diligent person, so it took a long time, but we ended up traveling around the Southeast for a little while, for like a summer, and it was the best summer ever. I really liked experiencing the van for the first time, like out in state parks and stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember like us pulling out of the driveway and definitely shedding a tear after like all that we had gone through and everything that me and the family had gone through, and where we were and what it was that we were like building and doing. So that was monumental, to say the least, to have like that come full circle from not being able to talk in a hospital bed, and now we're like going out and living and traveling. So that was really big.
Baby.
Oh. No, it was a momentous moment, and the fact that we were able to get out and spread our wings and hit the coffee shops and set up camp, and we had Finny Bean with us, and you'd take him on walks. And Finn is Katarina's dog that sadly passed a few months ago now.
Yeah, I'm still wrecked, but he was my Australian Shepherd.
He was a good boy. Yeah, it was a beautiful time for all of us. And I think there's a lot, I mean, you can kind of sense the energy from both of us that like, we miss that, and we really want to be able to do that. So we're hoping that in the near future, we can figure out what we need to do in this house. So we bought a house, Katarina bought a house in 2023. And
yes.
We've been slowly working on getting that renovated and updated and accessible for me to be able to do what I need to do. And we've made some really great progress, and we're hoping that we can continue to do that. But yeah, the idea is eventually to like get back into something that would be accessible, and allow us both to kind of hit the road. And we don't know that we necessarily want to be like off-gridding it all the time, but we want to be able to travel, and like things aren't as easy for me with a disability. So
yeah, it's fast forward from the bus and van builds, like Sam said, I finally got a house. We're in the middle of those projects, but I'm still daydreaming and trying to problem solve in my head how we are going to get back on the road together. And Sam hasn't done air travel since his injury, so we still are looking forward to doing that. It's just really tough to go far away and to have like a shower wheelchair in addition to your wheelchair. And then if it's just me and him, I just feel like we're gonna need my folks, your folks with us every time we try. It's just a lot. I don't know
completing transfers, completing all of the stuff, all of the different like medical devices and things that I need as a quadriplegic. Like, it's a long list, and it eventually ends up being like a lot of weight on her shoulders. So if there's a way that we can kind of streamline that and make it easier, we'd love to do that. And honestly, we learn a lot from like you guys and us interacting with one another and like sharing, okay, well, I do this, or you know what, we actually don't have a van, we have a trailer that we pull behind a van, and that actually makes things easier because now we can, like there's so much to learn, and we're hoping that like getting on this platform and sharing can help us build those connections. Like we said in the beginning, we're doing this in an effort to connect with you all and to provide a space to learn from one another.
Next time, we plan to discuss how we both became acquainted with spinal cord injury.
Like my firsthand experiences in the hospital.
And what it was like for me to date someone with a spinal cord injury.
So if you'd like to support us, consider checking out our Patreon linked in the description. If you'd like to follow along, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have any questions for us.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time.